Yes. Welcome to another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. This one I have an opportunity to welcome back to the podcast my guy, Ralen Jones, PDX Black Excellence. And for the first time, I had a chance to chop it up. My guy, Jarren Simmons, also from PDX Black Excellence, local producer, artist. And the third guest on this episode, Torrence Shaw. So in 2022, Portland Hip Hop Week, PDX Black Excellence brought back the Flip and Flow Challenge. And so we had a chance to chop it up with the cats who run PDX Black Excellence and the cat who won the 2022 Flip and Flow Challenge. We talk about that, some of the other things that are going down with PDX Black Excellence on this latest episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Support for the Klyph Notes podcast comes from Akepele Apparel, an idea born from a love of hip hop, funk, and soul music and its surrounding cultures. With fashion being a huge visual part of the cultures, they've created expressive images to pay homage, invoke nostalgia, and showcase the elements that make up the lifestyle and cultures of these genres. Akepele, apparel for the music lifestyle. For more information, check out akepele.com. That's AKEPELE.com. Yes, I should do a little bit of a recap of some of the events, or one of the big events that happened this year during Portland Hip Hop Week, with some cats who were involved in organizing and curating, and then also participating in the event. So I got a number of people on this episode, man. So I'm gonna have y'all run it down. Just everybody introduce yourself. We're gonna start with my guy Jay.
What's up? My name is Jarren Simmons. I am based here in Portland. I'm a musician, artist, graphic designer by trade, and the creative director of PDX Black Excellence, which you'll hear a little bit more about. But been here in Portland for a few years now, and excited to be involved with Flip and Flow in Portland Hip Hop Week.
No doubt. And then a familiar voice to the Klyph Notes podcast.
Hey, yo, everybody. Glad to be back. I'm Ralen, back in the building again for Klyph Notes, ready to do this, speak about, some good flip and flow, some hip hop. I'm inspired today. Thank you for having me, Klyph.
Absolutely, bruh. And then someone who had an opportunity to participate in Flip and Flow and came out on top. What up, T?
Good morning. My name is Torrence Shaw, Chicago native, but in Portland by way of Atlanta. Moved here May 2019, and I'm a singer, creator, and I'm just ready to share my voice and my stories.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So this year during Portland Hip Hop Week, there's a ton of events obviously that go on during the week, and there was a lead up to this is the third year of Flip and Flow. Okay, so obviously a lot of great lead up to it. I want to just kind of spend a moment talking about Flip and Flow and running down the history of and sort of the thought behind creating an event like this, because I feel like it's a little unique, but also so I don't know. Let me just have you run it down.
Yeah. It really is unique, especially here. But Flip and Flow all started a few years ago because, as I mentioned, I'm a producer and a musician myself, and so I would be out on the internet looking for these like beat competitions where people all start with the same sample, or you all start with the same kit, and then people submit beats, and then you can vote on them, whatever. And I thought that would be something really dope to do here in Portland. But when we had this idea initially, it was during the pandemic. So we were like, all right, well, how are we gonna pick the sample? How are we gonna coordinate this? We have to do it all remotely. Really, it's all about collaboration and getting people together to create this joint thing that comes out way more beautiful than it could on its own if anybody was doing it isolated. But to add the vocal section to it was also something that I hadn't seen yet. Like, I hadn't seen, we're going to start from scratch with the sample, make the beats, and then have a competition for that, and then make those beats available and have a competition for vocalists as well. So it's something that I've seen grow and evolve over the last couple of years. This year, we finally got to do the event in person,
yes,
which changed things a little bit. But yeah, it's just like super collaborative. And you know, when we start picking the samples, we try to make those Portland-based samples. So that, you know, is also shining a light on what's happening here in the Northwest. And Portland has a super vibrant musical history, and I learn more about it every year, so that's cool. But yeah, that was kind of the thought, and you know, it's been logistically challenging, but it keeps getting better every year. So
yeah,
you know,
it's funny because from my perspective, it's crazy when you think about so many of us had plans for doing things, and then the pandemic hit us, and we were all impacted. One of the things that I think is cool, though, when you think about the ability to reach a great number of individuals to say, hey, this is an event that we're building, and we want to invite you to be a part of it. During 2020, everybody was on the internet because it's the only way that you could build community and be around people. So I feel like to a certain degree, that was maybe a little bit of a boost for creating that, like, kind of everybody's looking for stuff to be involved in. Everybody's who has a bedroom studio, they're at home because they can't go to the
exactly.
Yeah.
So it seemed like that was to a certain degree that was a win.
Yeah, I think it definitely drove engagement and drove people to go out and seek something like this out. I mean, for those people that don't know, basically maybe we should explain the competition before we get into it, because it is a little. It sounds complicated. It's really not. But so basically, the idea is that we take a sample from Portland, ideally. This year it was a sample from Albina, which is a neighborhood here in Portland that had a really rich soul and funk history in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. So we found a really dope song. We wound up actually by the legendary Beyonds, which is a group that is still out making music today. We actually wound up, through our extensive network, being able to contact the Beyonds and actually get their blessing. So it was just really dope to see, them witness an entire generation, a new generation of kids get to create off their musical genius. Yeah. But basically, we take this sample, we make this sample available to the public for anybody who is a beat maker, a producer, to chop up, flip into whatever instrumental or beat that they want, and then submit that beat to us. We then take all of those beats and we make all those beats available to vocalists, any rapper, any singer that wants to put vocals on the beats, and then we basically collect all of these songs that we have and these beats at the end, and we have a competition. And we open it up to the public and to the judges this year, a special panel of judges to decide, who takes home the crown. But yeah, along the way, really what it does is like, it connects all sorts of people. I mean, the event this year was wild. We met beat makers, we met rappers, we met R&B singers. I mean, people from all sorts of backgrounds who are there, and just the projects that are coming out of that event are crazy already. Yes. Like the web is deep. Yeah. So yeah, that's been really cool. But that's kind of a breakdown of the event.
That's what's up, man. And shout out to my guy Bobby D and the folk over Albina Music Trust, who are doing just such an amazing job of introducing, as you mentioned, our generation to music that was created here years ago, and continuing to support those artists. And Albina Music Trust is doing an amazing work, and excited for my audience to hear even more about what they're doing. So we created you guys created the event.
Can I add to that shout out really quick? Because as Jarren had just mentioned, we were able to get in contact with the legendary Beyonds thanks to our extensive network. And that extensive network is Klyph. Klyph, shout out to Klyph. Klyph is actually the one who really connected us with Jetty Beasley, and thank you for that. Jetty is amazing. I've been able to stay in contact with him, and we plan on keeping communications going and trying to get together going forward. But shout out to Jetty Beasley, the legendary Beyonds. Just want to pay them their homage that they deserve. Incredible group. We had no idea about them until Jarren discovered. Yeah, definitely. So
that's so dope. Yeah. The live event, bruh. Just amazing, the energy in the room. People came out and showed support and showed love. You said something that really resonated with me in terms of the number of artists. And listen, man, I've been doing this for over a decade, and I was introduced to so many artists and individuals, producers and vocalists and MCs, and this scene continues to grow and be rich, and it's just so dope. It was so dope to be in the room with all of that energy. Obviously, having a chance to come together for this event after years of building towards it. Was it what you expected? Was it, what was the sense of for you folk in terms of that night?
Honestly, I was really pleasantly surprised, especially because, we, leading up to the actual event, we get to see all the submissions, which is great. I mean, one of my favorite moments from the last couple of years is when it's the deadline, all the beats are in, and I get to listen to all the beats. Like, it's a great time. Yeah. But as far as the live event went, I mean, I think it really speaks to the nature of this community and to, what people are looking for, what they gravitate towards, because at this point, we've been doing a couple of years, but it's still very grassroots. Yeah. And the cool thing about that event was, like, there was only so many people in the room that we could have in the room, but almost everybody there was a creator. Yeah. If not, they were, partners of creators or family of creators or close friends. So it was so much love in that building, man. It just, we were talking about this earlier too, coming from other places. I moved here from Brooklyn a couple years ago, and coming from Atlanta and everything. Different places and different communities have different personalities. Definitely. And that would have been a much different crowd in New York. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So the fact that everybody was super supportive, there was nobody trying to act super hard out there and be all judgmental of anybody on stage. We had a number of performers where this was their first time performing live. Yeah. And this was their submission, their song. So to get up there and, it takes a lot to get up there on stage in front of people you don't know. And it was just cool to see everybody be really engaged and really supportive with that. So I was blown away by that. But it really just shows you what the community is like.
No doubt. Yeah. So had the event, amazing performers. Everybody went up and did their thing. We had a chance to listen to the production submissions, and then we had a chance to see the performers do their thing live on stage. And it is a competition. Yeah. And there was a winner. And that winner is with us today.
Yo, that was me.
Hey, Torrence in the house. Yeah, bro. So once again, congratulations on winning. Like I said, it was so cool. It's cool to me to have an opportunity to meet creatives new to me on the scene. Yeah. But you, I mean, you went up there and you did your thing, bro.
Well, one, thank you. Actually, Flip and Flow created an artist.
Word.
I do have a musical background. It's mostly choral, so I know the beauty in like creating, but creating with others. But that was my first stamped performance. Solo, and that was my first song that I've ever written. This challenge was a blessing for me, honestly and truly. I've been following, I'm probably going to say it wrong, but PDX Black Excellence.
You got it.
Pretty much since I moved here, and that's been like my little like go-to to figure out what's going on in the city. And when I saw the opportunity for the contest, I'm like, okay, I've been trying to get into writing for some months now, and I just never really heard any beats that I wanted to purchase myself. So seeing this opportunity where I can like have a free range to listen to different creatives, and then just try to write something, that was my goal. To me, that was when I won. When I wrote something, I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, this actually sounds good. And so, I submitted it. But like I said, in my mind, I won when I actually got my goal of writing the song and submitted it and didn't hear back. And first I was like, oh man. But instantly I was like, but you wrote that and it sounded good to you, so you're good. And last minute got the message from Ralen, and I was like, yeah, it's time to show up and show out. Yeah. So yeah,
that's what's up, bro. And that definitely came across that night in your performance, and even what you express on stage.
Yeah, two things from me. One, I want you to remember what you said, that we created artists when the royalties come. Yeah, keep that in mind. I told Jay, we should start a record label at this point, and you can at least get a mixtape out there. Yeah, artists, But it's actually incredible. I would like Torrence to speak to it more, because This year, the challenge was exceptional. All the submissions, all of the energy, all the different people, the different backgrounds. But Torrence's story is actually the most incredible of them all. And I'll let Torrence speak to it more, of course. But really what happened is Torrence had never recorded before.
Never.
So, everybody else, and he's new to the city. So everybody else has some kind of connection, something to get in the booth and record.
Right.
Torrence recorded from his laptop.
Yeah, spitting into the laptop.
Yeah, I pulled my little Mac Airbook out and opened up GarageBand. And I was like, okay, I know how to start. So the creating process for the song for me was I listened to the beats, and there was just this one that just kept, I'm like, the type of music I like when artists ride the beat. And so for this, I'm like, okay, this is something I can straight jam off of. So I thought about, I'm super transparent, and for me, and this comes from my core background, music and singing is storytelling.
Yes.
And so for me, I'm extremely anxious to share my story, and I want to share what's been happening because Portland and this challenge has been a blessing to me. And so started with the basic lyrics, and I'm like, okay, there's going to be many people here. I'm talking about my journey. This is now a part of my journey, so I have to have it in there. So flip and flow, once I got that part, I'm like, okay, flip and flow. Boom, I got it. So I got the main vocals, and then I was like, okay, background vocals. Come from a choral background, so I'm like, it has to be at least 3-part.
Yeah.
I want it to be like 4 or 5, but I'm like, let's not do too much. So I did that, and to me, like I said, I want it to be a holistic sound. So I had to have those background vocals, and then the ad-libbing and everything came after I re-recorded it. But I just really want to share my story of how I got here, what my goal was, and now that I'm accomplishing it, this is where it's going to happen afterwards. And this was an ode to my father. Lost my father in December of 2021. That was, I mean, it wasn't expected, but it was what it was. But I knew that prior to, my dad is one of my biggest fans. He would always be like, why haven't you written that play yet? Why aren't you singing? I was supposed to be an opera singer.
Okay.
I grew up singing classical music from kindergarten literally all the way up until college years, along with gospel and other genres. And so side note, that's what makes me different from other people, because I can change my sound and it's all gonna be dope. And it's gonna fit that genre. But anyway, this challenge, my dad was with me the whole way. Cause he, like I said, he was like, dude, what are you doing? Sing, do it. And so now that was me singing to him. And every other opportunity that I have will be me. I'll be singing for me. But I'm singing to him. So yeah.
That's so dope, bro. That's so dope. Such a great story of finding a way to express something that's within you, building community, and having that then. Just what you said about this event creating an artist, that's so powerful, bro.
It really
so
did.
Powerful.
There was something in me with the training, and sorry for cutting you off. With the training that I have and the musical background that I have, like I've done some things. I've sang at Carnegie Hall and the White House and these things and that.
Wait a minute, bro. You can't just pass over.
I mean, it was.
Come on now.
No, I mean, I've been lucky enough to shout out to Chicago. Grew up singing in the Chicago Children's Choir.
Okay.
I was supposed to do the Soul Children, which is a gospel choir, but I auditioned for them. And to me, I was like, there's something special about this because it was multicultural, multiracial, different genres. And being in that organization afforded me a lot of things. I've sang at the White House. I've been to Europe. Things that I wouldn't have been able to do being a little black boy from the west side of Chicago. But luckily, I got with that organization. And I got to see the world. But with that, when you get older and life start lifing, you can get sidetracked. And I've been on my own since I was 16.
Okay.
So, I would try to do things, but I had to focus on life there and then.
Yes.
And with my relocating from Atlanta years later to here, I was super intentional. I was like, Torrence, with this move, you have to get to know and love yourself, but really tap into your talents, because you have something, and you've done the work from studying music theory and the hours and hours of practice. Get out there and do your thing. And so I've learned that this is how I'm able to show up in this space. It's through my music, through my voice. So
that's so dope, man. And it's dope for me to be. And it's not. I don't even want to put myself in it. It was. Thank you for creating the art. Thank you for creating the content for this podcast, for the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show.
Thank you.
DJ OG1 slid me the track, and so we had an opportunity to break the record on.
And
XRAY
I heard
FM.
it.
Yeah, I mean,
and actually, like, I literally have a text from one of my homegirls, Brittany.
Yeah.
She was like, "I screamed when I heard your name." Like, I actually had people reach out to be like, "Yo, I just heard you on this radio station, on this podcast." So I thank you for being a part of creating this artist that is about to, I'm going crazy. But you all literally have afforded me that opportunity. And I don't take it for granted. The night of the show, like, almost turned into like a little church session because the gratitude that I feel for this, like, I'm not taking this lightly. And yeah, y'all, like I said, y'all are a part of creating this, and that was a wall that was broken that night. Because like I was saying, life be life, and so you just stop. So I haven't been singing, and people are like, "What are you doing?" But this challenge, literally, like, from hearing the beat, brick by brick, knock down, knock down.
Yeah.
Then that energy was just like, poof. So
that's what's up, bro. That's what's up, bro. So, you know, having this conversation and kind of reviewing, it takes me back, Ralen, to our first conversation, and when you shared with me one of the things that drove you to create PDX Black Excellence.
Right.
Like, here it is, bro.
Right.
Here
Exactly.
it is. You know what I mean? As you see this event, as you see, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other things that you're working on. Is this it? Like, is this what you envisioned? Is this?
Well, you know, it's funny because, you know, as we're here right now and as amazing as this is, it's like, you know, speaking to you, 2 years ago at the beginning of the pandemic, and where me and Jay even started, where we were just coming up with a logo.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen me and this man going back and forth trying to create this branding for this thing. And I think, you know, throughout it all, it's, you know, it's really just grown. It's taken roots in so many different spaces. But ultimately, yes, this is the idea. We want to support our community. We want to be there. You know, we want to create a space for our community to be highlighted, to be celebrated, to come together, to drive awareness, to create opportunity. And, you know, there's been a lot of transitions and transformations of PDX Black Excellence over its inception to where we're at, and even still where we're going, as we'll discuss later. But yes, you know, Torrence represents, you know, what we do this for. He's a living embodiment of it, because this is our community. I don't know Torrence outside of Black Excellence. But through this network, through this thing that we've created and that everybody's poured in, you know, blindly to some degree. But we all believe in the cause and the mission, you know, we really do. And to see something like this come of it is just, it's truly amazing. I couldn't, you know, some of these things I couldn't imagine, you know, my best imaginative, creative, you know, channeling Jarren day. You know?
Right.
But to see it play out and know where the intent comes from is incredible. Yeah, we're just blessed, and this is what continues to drive us to keep going, is, you know, this community that we're contributing to.
Yeah, it was something that T said that I really felt. You know what I'm saying? He said moved to the area and was trying to figure out, where's the communities? What do I tap into? And tapped into PDX Black Excellence, and that just how powerful that is to find Flip and Flow, but then to find a community when I don't really know the community. And we've had that conversation about that's what you look for when I'm moving to a new place for family or for work or whatever the case may be. And so to me, that's exciting to see that exists in the form that it does. And if people check out the website, I mean, there's so much information there on things to be involved in, and you know, what's happened thus far, and then, like I said, in a minute we're going to talk about what's yet to come.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. As if you hadn't heard the original podcast episode with me and Klyph. Go back,
Yes.
take a listen. It's dope. It was my first podcast actually in the moment we were in COVID, so we did it via Zoom. So it's really great to be here in person now, full circle where we're at, where we started, where we're at.
Yes, sir.
But for people that don't know, I am a transplant, and I struggled with finding Black community here in Portland for years, for the first few years, and I was on my way out the door myself until deciding that maybe I should try doing something myself. I have what Jarren would call as a skill to be sociable and to be personable with others, right, and to create those conversations and relationships, and knowing that this all stems from the idea of my experience for the most part, being a transplant and finding it very difficult to connect to my community, and wanting to create something that kind of circumvents that or makes it easier, makes that experience, that transition from wherever you're from, just a overall easier one, and seeing it actually play out, and knowing that it really does benefit people as we continue to grow, and hearing locals say, hey, this is how I tap into the community, and hearing new people, and having organizations reach out, and we've been involved in so many unique projects now. It's like, wow, could you imagine, Jay?
No, it's I think my favorite part about it is just that it's win-win. It's everybody levels up across the board, and that was one thing with this live event that really was obvious to me, was like, you might submit the track, could sound one way or another depending on what your resources are, which is not your fault as an artist. That's just, it is what it is. But after that, now we got people coming in, getting studio time. We got people meeting other people everybody's leveling up. You're looking for a vocalist, you're looking for a producer, whatever. We all come away from it better. And, this is just one of the events that we have put on after COVID. Before COVID, it was really a shame. COVID killed it on so many different levels, which it really sucked though, because we had a lot of momentum going into 2020, and the basis of PDX Black Excellence started out with physical events. It started out with organizing a group to go see Black Panther and having barbecues, and you know what I mean? So that in-person connection was such a huge part of it. And then of course COVID came through, and we all had to stop that, put it on pause a little bit, but you could feel that in the building this time. Is like, this is one of many, and it's going to start again. I can already feel the
everybody was
building.
ready. Everybody was ready.
Yep. So it just makes everybody better at the end of the day. The more people get involved, the more people we meet, and steel sharpens steel.
So I would be remiss if I didn't also make note of you were on stage that night.
Oh yeah. Didn't you win? You won for the beat production.
One of the beat. We had 3 beat categories this time because we had so many submissions.
Dope.
I think I won for boom bap beat, but I took the stage too. I shook the dust off a little bit. It's been a while, a couple years, but no, it was fun, man. Torrence can back me up on this, but that was a dope stage to be on.
Very, very, very. First, I was honored to be at the venue that I was at, because I know that it's iconic to Portland, and the creativity here. So that was dope. But
shout out to Alberta Street Pub.
Absolutely. But the energy of the people, and even like the people that you were competing with, because I come from the like I said, I've had some experiences. Sometimes when it's competition time, it's tunnel vision. You give them a mug, you don't look at them or nothing. But like, I had people who were competing against me, being like, "You sound amazing." Like, don't be nervous, calm down. And and then like vice versa, I was able to kind of like pour into them. So it was a real sense of community. And you could tell that people were ready to be outside too. So it was exhilarating. I didn't expect none of it. I went home like, whoa, okay, cool. But, I mean, and they created this, like literally.
I can't wait for more events. We got a lot of plans. But we can finally start making them come to fruition now that things are open back up.
So on that note, we're recording this, getting closer to the end of September of 2022, and now that things are open, and we've been able to, through this process, I think maybe even create some new relationships with venues where we can access venues and do things. What are some of the things that our local community, but then our community even outside the region, what can we look forward to through the end of 2022 into the new year for PDX Black Excellence?
Probably a Ralen question. He's got the master calendar in his mind here.
Yeah, well, I can't give all of our secrets away.
Of course not. Of course not.
Got to keep you tuning in.
Right,
you know?
right.
But
we'll give them away. We're gonna put this behind the paywall. So you know what I mean?
Go ahead. Your $10 entry.
Hit that donate button.
Right. Boop. Donate. Then you can know what's up.
But we want to continue on. Like our drive really comes from you all. Everybody that keep going. We appreciate this. Like. Honestly, in the very beginning, as Jay said, we started out with in-person events that just kept growing. Our momentum just in a very short period of time too. It wasn't like, this year. It was like, next month, next month, and the buildup was getting bigger and bigger. But really, I probably would have stopped at very early on. I just was thankful to have actually found community. Yeah. People are just like, keep going, keep going, and then you just, it's like, all right, well. Sure. We can see the benefit. Yeah. Like Jarren was saying, how this network brings people together and it supports and drives awareness. And that's kind of what PDX Black Excellence represents, right? It represents this space, no matter where you're from. No matter what part of your phase of Portland living you're in, right? As a Black Portlander, as we all know, Portland is, if not the least diverse city in America, one of them, and the Black population here is small and spread out. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest difference for people coming from different backgrounds. When you get here, like a New York or Atlanta or Bay Area, you're used to being immersed into whatever culture you want to subscribe to, especially your own culture, which Black culture, I'm super pro-Black, I don't know.
Hella Black.
Super pro-Black.
I don't know if we can say hella, but hella Black.
Hella Black,
for sure.
Yeah, I can't, I be thinking about it sometimes, like, it might express out differently however it looks like, but at the core of me, it's like, I love y'all. I love my people. I love my culture. I love community. I always have. I always, this is what poured into me, and I think it's the dopest culture, people ever. So anyway, super Black. And in Portland, it's hard to tap into that, but there's a lot of dope Black Portland to tap into.
Definitely.
It's so, especially because we all kind of have that feeling and we want to create that connection and that community with one another, and we know the culture. We are the culture, and so on that note, right, we want to lean into that, and we've been trying to really think about, as we're coming into this, post-COVID time, or, at least, with some of the things being lifted, in terms of in-person, and being able to dial back into that space. How do we want to define ourselves? Well, which direction do we want to lean in going forward? And in terms of events, there's so many great events in Portland, and hopefully everybody's tuning in to Black Excellence, following, because you can find something for everyone.
Yeah, constantly happening too.
Every day.
Every day. I will also say too, when we say like creating the community or leading into the community, this is an open call for folks. If you want to get involved, if you want to, if you're looking for a partnership, this is a great place to do it.
Right.
PDX Black Excellence, we work with all kinds of organizations, individuals, businesses, around town. And if you have an idea for an event, if you're looking for some kind of, sponsorship, we can provide all of those things. We can at least point you in the right direction, provide some leverage, or, we just used this venue last month, y'all should check out them or whatever. So yeah, it's really it's very permeable and open and transparent in the way that we work with other people. It's not like we're too cool for school, or we're looking, Right. We will. I almost cussed. We will.
It's a podcast. If you,
I was gonna say we will fucks with you. We will fucks with you. For real. So I would just encourage everybody, if it's something that you're looking to do and you're really looking to meet people, and you can make a big impact. You can touch people's lives in a way.
Yeah.
So we're always willing to hear good ideas and meet dope people. So
yeah. And and Jay really stole the words out of my mouth, because we haven't even thoroughly discussed it, but that's exactly how I feel. Yeah. That's exactly what I think too, in bigger picture. And we have a really great event that's going to be like a signature event that I'm not going to give details, but it's called Black Business. It's kind of like town business where I'm from, like Oakland, town business, right? Yeah. Leaning into that, but Black business, like this is our business, but also it embraces Black business, Black enterprise, and the opportunity to come together and lean into all those different aspects of Black collection, whether it's individual, people to people, people to business, or business to business. We want to strengthen those connections and those bonds in the city. And I believe, there's a lot that can come from that, and we see it every day. So it's, at this point it's like, all right, we've gone through somewhat of a phase, right? Like this testing phase, for instance, is proven, right? We've seen what we were able to do together collectively, leaning into our networks to one another, being in the space together, and we want to continue to do that.
That's what's up, man. It's something that I think in my mind I think I've always thought is important and valuable. I lean into it even more maybe as I have more life experience, but it's something that has come up several times just in the time we've been sitting here together, and that is just giving people their flowers. You know what I'm saying? It's happened so much during this conversation, which I think is it's not always the first thing that comes up, I think, when you're having discussions about events and artists and this, that, and the third. And that's one of the things that I so appreciate. And I think we touched on it the last time that we had a conversation, is I think when people look at PDX Black Excellence, that's one of the first things that you have an opportunity to see, right? So one of the ways that we all communicate and connect is via social media. And I think if anybody follows PDX Black Excellence on social media, that's one of the things that's so obvious, is how much work you guys do in supporting and connecting. And so when you say, like, we're not trying to elevate ourselves again above other, like it's evident because so much energy goes into promoting and supporting and connecting dots. And I think that should be appreciated by all of us who are in the community, the work that you do, but just want to make sure that you guys know that it's seen and it's recognized, and it's hugely appreciated.
It is, for sure.
Appreciated.
And I think a way, as a consumer and a supporter of the organization, someone who's benefiting from it now, I think another way that we can keep it going is by showing up. We have this platform here, and that's amazing. To keep it here, we have to show up and participate and connect, collab. So let's, as a community, show up for this and show our appreciation and show what we can do with opportunities and with one another and in numbers. So show up, y'all. Support.
Yeah, no doubt. The other thing that I think is interesting that I think it becomes a topic of conversation. And so as someone who is a curator, but then also a creative, as things open up and we have more opportunities, one of the things that happens is we have more opportunities to go to many different events and to put our energies behind many different things. And some of those communities that were created because we were all stuck in the house, we were all, we couldn't do anything else. Now we can. And as you're continuing to build as an artist and as a creative, as you're continuing to build as a group and organization to pull people together, do you ever have a conversation or a thought about, okay, how do we make sure that people continue to stay tapped in? That people continue to see what we're doing, and then as a group, can we continue to stay tapped in to identify, okay, well, what are people looking for? Like, what are the pieces that we want to look at more closely?
Yeah. I mean, I think we talk about it when we have our monthly meetings and amidst the organization. But I think there's a couple aspects of that whole situation that actually make it not so hard. One is that the network is constantly getting bigger. It's not getting smaller. And we have social media. We have things like our website where no matter what we do, we can continue to keep people engaged. I like to think so, at least. You know what I mean? Another part of that is that as we gain more people and the network grows, we gain more creative people. We gain people with different experiences, perspectives, who bring different ideas to the table. So there's always something new and fresh going on. You know, it's not like we are out of lack for good ideas, which is, you know, knock on wood. That's solid, and it helps us because it just keeps people, you know, it keeps you at the top of people's minds and keeps people engaged. So that's dope. Also, I will say, it doesn't feel like work to me. It's not work.
Yeah.
We are engaging with people, and people show up because what we're doing is dope.
Right.
You want to be there. Believe me. When you're out, it's like, oh man, this place is kind of cool, but I wish there was good music. You know, this music is trash. Or, oh yeah, you know, that event was dope, but food was kind of whatever. Like, we will have that. Like, the culture is gonna be there, and you want to be there. Right. So it's not like, you know, we're begging people to get involved, because I think it's something that people really they gravitate towards because it's dope shit.
Right. Yeah,
So,
at the end of the day.
like, you know,
dope sell itself.
So I mean, you know, I think like we gotta keep growing and evolving. It's been happening pretty organically. But yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge to stay fresh in people's minds. But you know, that next big idea right around the corner, I'm sure. You know.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say that, you know, you would think it is a challenge to stay, but because, like you said, the reasons we do it, if you can't tell how genuine our reasoning behind it, like we still need funding. You know, we're not advocating. Jarren said it, it doesn't feel like work, but we would love to work more on what we're doing, but we have to work 9 to 5. You know, we have to still, but we love what we're doing. And I think people can feel that what Jarren says, it just continues to grow. Like, it's just amazing how much more and involvement, and you start to see numbers and things like that. And at certain levels, it's like, it's grown faster than we can keep up with in terms of the demand, you know, aspect of it, because we're reached out to for so many opportunities and so many ideas. And now it's like more so, I feel like we've become like some level of like a black chamber of commerce. You know, people are constantly, hey, Ralen, I think about this, or what do you, and I'm like, well, fortunately, I'll say this. Luckily, our team is so strong, so amazing. Like, our internal team, which never probably gets the recognition that it deserves, from Jarren, Ashley, Doug, Jade, the whole Jesse, everybody. You know, Tim. You know, everybody. Everybody's just amazing. Kayla, you know, everybody just does their part, and we're all committed to it. And so I just want to give them their flowers, because it is really, like Jay said, a steel sharpens steel situation. And at one point I realized, even though, okay, at the beginning this started out as, you know, my experience and trying to, you know, make that a better one for others, it's now been picked up and transformed through the dope people in our organization, where it's like, oh, now Jarren's contributing. And that was really cool for me, because I'm usually one of those like, oh, I need to control everything and I need to do everything. And then and then you get to a space where it's like, oh, you can't do all this shit. You can't do all this shit.
Just you gotta let your baby go. That's the world. That's it can be hard, but it's a good thing.
Yeah, and the cool part about it is in embracing that, and like leadership, and just trying to grow in delegation and giving it away. You know, we've become better. We've gotten stronger. Because what Jarren, what all these people bring to the table, I can't bring. But it makes us so much better, and that's what everyone gets. You know, and so, you know, I'm thankful that we have the support that we have, because because it just and it continues. Like, I mean, people are like, yo, can we volunteer? I'm like, yo, we need a volunteer coordinator. I can't manage right.
Like, volunteer for the volunteer.
You know, and so, you know, we're happy. We do continuously tap in and try to figure out how we can be better, how we can do what we want to do differently, how we can stay relevant, prevalent, engaged. But at the end of the day, it's really not as difficult, because it's a demand out there that people really want. You know what I mean? Like, the demand for it is, you know, it's organic, it's natural, it's real, it's for the culture. People understand that. Doesn't matter if, you know, in the beginning we had a little bit of pushback, because I'm not from here. We're not from here. You know, so it's like, oh, you're coming into our community. You know, you Californians.
These transplants. It's like, yo, I have all intent on adding to the culture and the representation. I want you with me. Like, it ain't. It's like literally building community, and like, even as an artist now, thanks to, you know, this challenge or whatever. It's just like making sure that I keep content, making sure that I'm connecting with the people who are reaching out and wanting to collab, making sure that I make a stamp in this community, because though I'm not from here, this is my community.
Right.
And even as a transplant, as a Black person, there's just certain things that make us family anyways.
Right. It's all love.
So just making sure that I tap in, that I'm always on it when it comes to opportunities and representation and sharing my voice, and connecting with people here, and so that we can build the representation of the culture, because Portland has its Black culture, so we need more representation of that, but just us holistically. So
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, that's what I tell people. I don't care where you're from, where we're at. We're all moving around.
We Black.
We're Black. Right. Exactly. We're Black. This is my community.
Yes.
I don't care if I'm here, New York, LA, Florida, Miami, Texas. I mean, some place I've never even been. I go to Paris.
Yeah.
Black people out there. This is my community.
Yeah.
Man, like off the rip.
Right. It's easier than ever too now to stay connected. Honestly, at a certain point, like if with all these resources out there, with the internet and social media and all these things, if you really are still not feeling like you're part of a community, it's almost on you at a certain point. So I'm like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people who are feeling just like you. So, you know, definitely not alone.
One quick shout out, and because I know I've talked a lot, but I want to make sure everybody else, I don't know where we're at on time, but one, Torrence has mentioned this a couple of times that we created this artist or this challenge has. No, you created yourself.
You all helped, you know.
So we appreciate being a part of your journey and your process and helping shed some light in your direction. But, you know, our community, this city, our world is filled with amazing people and talent. And a lot of people don't necessarily get opportunities to have their flowers or get their flowers and receive that light. So I'm glad you were able to step up, rise to the occasion, because again, you can do a whole nother episode on just his individual story for Flip and Flow, because we only hit the surface of it. I mean, it was like a last minute thing to find Torrence, to get him part of the show. To Jay was like, well, you know, this submission is, you know, it's rough, but the content sounds good. I think he has some. We should try to get him involved. And it's like, okay, and it's like, you know, teamwork and network and community, and really drove. But no, Torrence is amazing talent. I just want to make sure that that's noted, that this man created himself.
Thank you.
We're proud that you showed up, because honestly, you know, sometimes it's all it really takes is to put in the effort, put in the work.
Definitely. I mean, 3 hours before the show, maybe 4, but that's a testament to just staying ready.
Wait, what's 4 hours before the show?
So I got the message that I needed to be ready for the showcase that night, 4 hours. So I got it around 1:32 p.m.
Yeah, that was totally lost on me. Right?
And the showcase was at 6.
The day of.
The day of.
What?
The day
Yeah,
of.
because so everyone who made the cut should have gotten an email that Monday, because the showcase was Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that weekend, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hear something. Monday came, I'm like, let me go get a donut. I didn't get that call, but it's okay because I wrote my song. It is what it is.
Right.
So that Wednesday morning, I think I was doing something. Afternoon, sorry, it was around noonish, 1:30. Ralen reached out. He's like, hey, so I got a text and a ding on my email. I'm like, uh-oh, something's going on. So I look, it's him. He's like, hey, you know, sorry that you didn't get this message. If you can make it, that'd be dope. If not, I'm like, if not, what do you mean?
Let's go.
I'm like, I'm going to make it. I emailed my professor. I was like, hey, won't be in a class today via Zoom because I have this opportunity. He was like, you better take your ass there, win it. Like literally everyone's like, go do it. So got my little H&M outfit together, got my little Jordans, and did my little vocal warm up. I pulled up a little vocal thing on YouTube, la 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 la, do all of that so I can be ready. And on the bus right there, I'm like, Dad, let's do it.
Wow.
And within 3 hours, I was on that stage, and it was crazy. So, yeah, I mean, didn't even have background vocals, nothing. But I know me. I know what I possess, and I know my goal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I mean, so many lessons in that. I mean, probably the biggest is stay ready.
Stay ready. Stay ready. Stay ready.
And that's such a testament to, obviously, to Torrence and all the artists who perform.
Yeah.
And We will get better. I'm going to apologize right now because, you know, that's kind of, you know, what we're talking about. Like, this thing is still evolving, and it started at such a grassroots level that, like, you do an event and you're like, I see 25 things that we're going to do differently next time leading up to the event. You know, we need website, we need a submission form platform that automatically generates an email. You know, we don't need to get into the details, but just know it's a lot of moving pieces. And so, we wound up like tracking down T the day of, and we had to do that with several other people. Either you send out an email, you don't hear anything back, or people aren't responding to DMs, or you know, we can't find anybody who also knows them and stuff. So all the challenges that came with it, you know, it was a great night, but it will only get better. You know, it's just the beginning, hopefully. So
and trust, I'm not mad at that at all. I didn't care that the text came on Wednesday. I didn't care. None of that mattered. You know, I was just happy to be a part of it because along with the winnings and being able to just showcase who I am, it was another opportunity to build and network and build community. So that in itself, it was so many like good things in it, and many gems and blessings that I was like, yo, I'm going, like, if I can make it, I can make it. Like, what do you mean? I'm there. So just be ready, because you never know.
And just, you know, when you consider the passion that you're expressing, it shows how much of the art you appreciate.
Thank you.
And I think that's something that it's a conversation that I have, and I get it. I'm from a different generation, but you know, I think oftentimes we get lost, or the art gets lost in the process.
Oh, definitely, especially when you start to try to make your business and all these things. But as Black people, how often do we get to freely express who we are? But like, since the beginning, we've found a way to take that back through our creating. So now that I have this opportunity, why not, like, you know, like, why not go full throttle for it? Because like this is the one opportunity that I can show me. And that's why, like I said, it's storytelling for me, because it's like, okay, I might be complex, or I might be whatever to you out on the surface, but once I start singing to you, you'll get to see me.
That's what's up, bro. So on that note, as you are now in the place that you're in, people are hearing this and they want to continue to either follow the journey or support the journey in one way or another. How do people do that?
So you can find me on Instagram. It is sing_Torrence, T-O-R-A, as the elders say, Aura. E, N as in Nancy, C-E. And it's the same on TikTok. You can reach out to me, jump in my DMs, email me. I'm ready to work. Free, not always, but you know, we can talk about some things, but I'm just ready to work, create, and that's that. So sing_TORRENCE, Instagram and TikTok. Holla at me.
That's what's up. And I know that we were talking a bit about before we turn the microphones on, just continuing to look for building with producers that might be in the area.
Yes, please. Like, I am willing and ready to collab, and I'm even willing to and ready to purchase, you know, beats that I feel like will be beneficial to my music journey and the story that I want to tell. But look, I'm ready to sing at weddings, bars, showcases. I'm ready to do it all. Hit me up and be ready to work. Be serious. I'm from Chicago. We move fast. I'll be ready to go. So, and trust and know that there's going to be quality in it. And I'm gonna put my all into every part of that process.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. One of the things that came from this that's I'm just gonna make a suggestion as you guys are planning.
We are welcome to all those.
Now the reality of it is, now that we are where we are in terms of the process of Flip and Flow, and more people are of learning of the event and want to be a part of the event. And as you said, the submissions have gone up. Might have to limit the number of submissions.
Oh, per person?
Yeah.
That was actually, so for everybody out there, we do one vocalist submission and we did 2 beat submissions per producer, because in years past we had fewer producers and we want to have more beats. That can no longer be the case, unfortunately, which is a good thing. It's a good problem.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah.
yeah, all the stuff in the format. You know, moving forward, I want to keep the heart and soul of it the same, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, as it gets bigger and as we do more and more things in person,
Yeah.
we might have to, you know, evolve and grow and shift how we do things.
Yeah.
But the in-person thing is big.
It was
That's
amazing.
huge, yo. Because it's hard to, you can't fake the funk in
No.
person. You know what I'm saying? With
Absolutely not.
Big Crit, man. Everybody want to be a rapper, but everybody out can't do a show. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah.
You got to, when you show up in person, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
throw the auto-tune on at home as much as you want.
Right.
Yeah, but you got to be
ready.
ready.
Do you got bars?
Do you got bars or
You
not?
got bars or not?
I don't know if you can speak to this specifically, but and if you can't, is the idea to have Flip and Flow continue to be an annual event?
I would like to, yeah, at the very least. I mean, honestly, this is a sort of a format that you could replicate really as many times as you wanted, as far as just like starting with the same building blocks and letting people's talent be the differentiator.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, annually for sure.
Yeah.
For Hip Hop Week, you know, if they will continue to have us, shouts Portland Hip Hop Week.
I'm pretty sure they will.
We would love to keep doing it every year for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, apart from your work as your work specifically with PDX Black Excellence, you are a creator in your own right, as we mentioned. And so, if people are interested in learning more about what you do and as a part of your creative process, how can people do that?
All right. Well, so like I mentioned, I'm a graphic designer by trade. So, you know, if you're looking for design work or looking to see my portfolio or anything that we do visually, I'm the founder and I run a creative studio called 40S Creative. It's, you know, based out of here in Portland, Black owned, obviously. You know, you're trying to come support the business, say what's up. So 40screative.com is where you can find that stuff. Also 40S on 40S Creative on IG. But for musical things, I go by the name of Greens. Just dropped an album, all produced by me, all vocals by me this fall. I think it was in August. So that's on all the streaming platforms and everything. But you can find me on IG too. Sight Sound Sentence on IG or just by my name, Jarren Simmons, Jarren. And yeah, you know, it's kind of like to think that there's a lot of overlapping creative approaches going on there, whether it's visuals or, you know, video or music or whatever. So hit me up. I'm trying to collab too, you know. Like Torrence said, this is all about leveling everybody up. I really just want to see everybody win because the work that comes out of it, that's the most engaging work, you know, when people are really feeling like they can be themselves and bring off the wall ideas and push each other. And I learn new shit every day. Honestly, that's really what I'm trying to do. You know, if we're collabing, you better believe I'm studying and stealing. You know what I'm saying? I want you to do the same thing. Like, I want us all to get better and leave the building feeling like we learned something that we didn't know. So, yeah. Get at me, please.
It's a beautiful thing.
And he's really about what he's saying. He's given me 3 beats to kind of like work through.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, I'm new to this whole beat purchase and all that. I'm seeing stuff start out at $500 and $600. This is someone who is established as, you know, like a business owner and an artist. Boom. Work with that, see what we can do. And is willing to collaborate with me artistically. So what he's saying is true.
Yeah.
I know because I'm experiencing it, and he didn't know me prior to Flip and Flow. He could have been like, "Yeah, you won. All right, bye." But that hasn't been the case.
No, shut
up.
Laying down vocals.
We laid down vocals. It was good. He made me. I mean, he put it together. It sounded like, you know, like and real song. I'm like, okay, cool. Humbly, he did that. So
But you know, shout out to my guy DJ OG1, man. He uses a term that he, as a part of his leadertainment brand, he speaks about relational currency, right? And so you've already spoken about reaching out to producers, and producers charge and people say get the bag or whatever the case may be, but there is something to be said for relational currency, and that's a part of what we're talking about here. I think that's a part of what, when we talk about seeing the Flip and Flow Challenge and what comes out of that. And again, I just want to make sure that we recognize that this this all comes from what you guys have created with PDX Black Excellence and the relationships that come out of that. And we want to support one another. We want to support Black businesses. And as we continue to grow and we all have greater resources, we can share those resources, whether they are our time, which is the greatest resource, or our funding, and supporting one another with our dollar. But there's nothing to be said about that. I think relational currency is the greatest of all. So just definitely want to encourage that. It's about the art. It's about building. It's about just leaving the world better than we find it.
Definitely.
Whatever relationship that may be. I'm stepping out of the pulpit now.
No, like those are gems that we need. No, yeah.
And then, again, man, I want to encourage people to go to the website, go to PDX Black Excellence. There are categories that are created, no matter what you were looking for, so well done, so well put together, and tap in. Ralen, I want to leave it with you, man. So appreciate your heart, so appreciate your passion, so appreciate your vision. If people want to be involved, if they want to be a part of it, how do they do it?
Yeah, so, continue to tap in, like right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, it gets somewhat overwhelming because there's so much, like whether if you're emailing info@pdxblackexcellence.com, which you can, don't get me wrong, we take all inquiries, just might take us a little while to get to it. There's so much, we have so much correspondence to get to, it's like stack, it's just amazing every day. But that, that gives to our mission, our drive. For me personally, I just really want to, always acknowledge all the dope people. DJ OG1, super dope, who put all this together and was the one who invited us, as we were getting going and getting some recognition in the city, invited us to participate in Hip Hop Week and come up with an event. So thank you OG1 for giving us this opportunity to put this platform, in this place, in this space. Just to clarify for Jarren, four's nose, that's numerical 4. Numerical 0 and then S, so 40S.
Creative.com.
There you go. And also for Torrence, in case you having trouble, he's just getting going, and if you need to get to Torrence or any of the artists that you may have come across, we're trying to put things in place to continuously support these people. We don't want to be like, oh hey, you were here, now you're gone. Like Jarren made a SoundCloud account.
Actually, we should. Sorry to cut you off, but you should definitely check out the SoundCloud. So you can on PDX Black Excellence has a SoundCloud page, and there's playlists for all the beats that were submitted and all the songs that were submitted by the vocalists. So, put it on while you're working or whatever. There's a lot of tracks on there. It's just cool to see the body of work. But that's a place where if you do want to support the artist. Most of those artists have SoundCloud pages of their own that you can click through and go find. So, you can get at people directly that way.
So what's the SoundCloud?
It's PDX Black Excellence.
SoundCloud page.
Yeah, SoundCloud page.
Okay.
PDX Black Excellence, yeah.
Okay, word.
Yeah, and, we love working with the Numberz, Klyph, so... we were invited to create curate a monthly playlist, Black Excellence monthly playlist, and maybe that's something we can tap into more. But you can always reach out to our social media accounts, whether it's Instagram, Facebook. We're in LinkedIn as well. If you're a professional, you're looking for a job. We're dialing into every the events, the businesses, and jobs. So if those are something that you're interested in and you're Black in the city, or you're trying to tap in with the community that's Black, find us, reach out, website, social medias. One more thing, because I got to give everybody their flowers. I wanted to shout out our amazing crew that supported us through Flip and Flow, because me and Jarren were in the trenches for a month and 2 months or so, a while. We were definitely in the trenches on a regular, but our team is just so strong and amazing, and they always show up. So shout out to Israel Hammond, Izzy Israel on the gram. He was our host of the night. Just amazing.
I can't say enough about Izzy, man. That guy's hilarious.
You can't, he's so good, so talented, just an incredible young young person that I'm proud of and I admire, and he killed it. Like a lot of it is just Izzy being Izzy, improving, you know, like some of the things that were brought to you that you got to see people like sharing, you know, what drove them. That was just Izzy on the spot. Like, hey, you know, we barely even made it through the run of show, you know, and Izzy's like, all right, let me run with it. I didn't get a chance to shout her out at the show, but Jasmine Finley, who's the newest member of our team, or most recent in terms of the official members, her and Izzy are also our brand representatives or our brand ambassadors, and she showed up. And first she was just going to do merch, and then it's like, oh, we need somebody to run like the slides, the projector, and stuff like that. And I was like, screw merch. Jazz, you're gonna support Izzy.
Those are the kind of things though that like they keep it running. Like without the support of the crew and the people who are there on the ground with, you know, working with their hands, making shit happen, it wouldn't have been impossible. So you know, that's big shouts.
Shout out Sticky Webb. He was our DJ of the night. I honestly do not know Stick's actual first name or last name. In all honesty, and I don't even care to ask. You know, I just he's just like every time I ask him, he's just like Sticky Webb. I'm like, all right, let me get some hints. Let me investigate. What's the email, Sticky Webb? Where's your social media, Sticky Webb? All right, so Sticky Webb. All right, you want to find
strong. The brand is strong.
The brand is strong.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, you need a DJ, super dope dude like Sticky Webb. He came through for us last year when we were taking our evolution in the live stream, and he showed up and showed out. And this year he reached out just because he appreciated it and wanted to be a part of the experience and support. So if you're looking for a DJ, Sticky Webb on his Instagram, feel free to reach out to us. But he's a super dope DJ, super cool dude to work with. Who else am I forgetting, Jay?
Well, I'd like to thank the judges.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know, we had a panel of 5 judges that were all, you know, hip hop titans in their own right, honestly, and big, you know, members of the community here and in the Northwest in general. So it was really dope to see them come through and lend their expertise and their you know, their expert opinions. So that was really cool. So thank you to the judges.
I got one more. Last but not least, can't forget our man's Xavier.
Yeah. So he's our videographer
behind the camera,
and right now I am in the midst of editing the video. That'll be happening. Definitely soon.
He's like soon.
Yo, I'm telling you, man, add it to the list. But we captured a bunch of content from the event, and I would really like to provide the artists with some content for their own purposes. Like Xavier is super professional, super talented guy. Also another young cat that you should keep your eyes open for. But he took some beautiful video and some beautiful footage. So we'll be chopping that up. So for everybody who couldn't make it, you'll be able to watch the recap and everything. But yeah, I looking through the footage myself, I was like, damn, this looks fucking good. Like
it was a really good showcase.
I want to be able to give Torrence a pack or an edited video and say, this is for your promotional purposes. Give Tizzy one. Give everybody who was up there, you know, a chance to walk away with something
was
concrete
amazing,
too. So that's happening too. So shout out to X.
Yeah, shout out to X, and just because I love this young kid again, incredible young man, super dope videographer. He showed up on projects for us now has become our creative director as well for Black Excellence. But I mean, not creative director, that's Jarren. Our videographer for Black Excellence. But the only _X on Instagram, if you need some video work done, anything, the man is so versatile. You need a commercial done. You need this is actually his first event that he shot.
Oh,
that's
wow.
X's first event.
Really?
Yeah, he does a lot of videography work, but he's never done an event before. So we came in, we did the I don't even know if it was a real walkthrough what we did, but it was the least of walkthroughs you could ever do to, there's an event going on at the time. We only have like a minimal space to look at it. X like, all right, I think I could do this. We'll put it together, and he's such a professional. Just comes and shows up. So shout out to X and everybody. Of course, Jarren again, a creative director. He designed the event, killed it. All of the visuals that you see, everything. You were there in the house. You saw how amazing the event looked, and came together. And a lot of that is Jarren working hard quite all the time. I don't know where he does. Man's went to Michigan on vacation, like, oh yeah, I gotta get my beat in, I gotta get my recording in. I'm like, bro, going to a funeral, you know?
Yeah. mean, yeah, I appreciate the shots, but
Yeah,
That's what's up.
that's all we got. That's all I got.
That's what's up. Well, listen, man. I appreciate you guys coming through, man. I appreciate what you're doing, and you know that my platforms are consistently here for you, folk, man. So thank y'all for coming through.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
us.
Klyph.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. All right, y'all. That's it. That's another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. Remember, it's available everywhere you listen to your podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Pandora, like literally everywhere you listen to audio, you can catch this podcast. Connect with all the folk that you've heard on the podcast and support them in any and every way that you can. If you want to support DJ Klyph Productions, you can do that via the Patreon. It's just Patreon DJ Klyph. Remember, you can tap in with me every single week, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. on XRAY FM with the Welcome to the Neighborhood radio show. You can also tap in with me every weekday right here on the Numberz 96.7 FM with the Rhythm radio show. And just hit the website, djklyph.com. Other events that are coming up, Klyph Notes Live is still happening. We're doing one next week with DJ Verbs from Portland. We have Klyph Notes Live event set up throughout the end of the year. And then we also have No Requests, which is the event that I'm doing with DJ Ambush. We did our first one last night. It was dope. Look out for the next couple coming up later this year. So you definitely want to stay tapped in to that. Thank y'all so much for tapping in, for tuning in. Subscribe, like, share, comment, rate, do all of that, and just help spread the word. Until we have an opportunity to connect again, y'all be blessed. Peace.